Welcome to another episode of That's What They Said, a podcast where we question the questionable lyrics of your favorite songs. Sarina Morales and Scott Spinelli talking about all the small things by Blink 182.
Well, that'll do it for this episode. That's all we have to say. We have the name of it. And,
you weren't really excited about this one. Look, Blink 182 got back together after years of being separated. They're making new music. It's so exciting. Travis Barker is married to a Kardashian. The world is just...
Here's the thing I didn't get about this, and I have not followed the arc of this band's career at all.
Yeah.
When you told me they were getting back together, I assumed they hadn't recorded in a decade. They released an album in 2019. Now, admittedly, I think the reunion part of this is that the guy, what's his name?
Travis Barker.
The other,
Tom,
not Mark
Tom
Hoppus.
DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge is back now, and they had separated.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reunion part. But it's not as if they hadn't been making music. I mean, they have an album literally that came out 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying, I realize that's not, but it's not like it was forever. Exactly.
They've broken up a couple times and they got back together. It's like those exes that are like, really, you're there again? You got back? It's the old
Seinfeld line of like breaking up with someone is like rocking a Coke machine back and forth. You can't do it in one push. You got to do it all, gradually. So.
I thought that all of the water or the Coke would explode because of the carbonation, but
nope.
No, that's not.
So hold on. So do you? I want to hear some of the details about the charting and all that because I have a question for you after that.
Okay, cool. All the small things. It was their second single and eighth track release from the band's third album, Enema of the State, came out in 1999. It peaked on the Billboard at number 6.
And if you're familiar with them at all, or even like as someone like us casually familiar with them, this is the record that had that nurse with the red, like the sexy nurse, like on the cover.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So did you like Blink 182 growing up?
They were on the radio a lot. I know that like in the 90s when we were growing up, this is a long way of going. I wasn't like the biggest fan of theirs, but they were always on MTV, like TRF, every day.
So I didn't realize how much I didn't like them until we did this project. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun. I put it on and immediately it was a reminder of, oh my God, I hate this. Like, I really don't like it. Like, I don't even like their faces for some reason. There's something about like, because in this video, it's like mocking boy bands and such.
Yes.
And there's something about their looks that is irritating. Like, like when you're being unfair. Like, I know what I'm saying is unfair and ridiculous.
But
there's something about them that I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like it one bit. I'm not having it.
They're sort of like if you think of like a slice of pizza, right? A classic slice of pizza. They're the slice of pizza that has pineapple on it. like you're not like people are you either love it or you're like, I just want my classic slice of pizza. Like I think they just take it to.
And I would wonder too.
They try and go with the punk rock and pop at the same. I think they're trying to merge two things. I'm like, y'all just stick in your own thing and we're good, like.
Well, so it's to that point. I wonder if, like, how like certain fans of, if you're a fan of X artist, you never like their really poppy single. This song was made with the intent of being a radio single. They knew what they were doing. They did it on purpose. I don't listen to Blink 182, and I have never listened to a full album. I am interested to know though if a Blink 182 fan would be like, nah, I hate that song too, because that's the rate. It's like I don't know many really big Nas fans who their favorite song is whatever that I Can or I Know I Can. Like
where I wanna be. No, it was made for
Or like Jay-Z, no Jay-Z fans. Like my favorite song of his entire career is Empire State of Mind.
Right.
It's like, moms say that. You know what I mean?
Although, like I do love that song.
Hold on, I like that song a lot, but that is not my favorite song.
Right. I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
Lucifer.
By the way, yeah. Oh, that's the one.
Banger. Yeah, I love Lucifer.
Huh. My favorite
Lucifer,
one.
I'm gonna.
I think Can't Knock the Hustle might be my
okay.
favorite.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
the beat of Lucifer, I'm like, oof, oh yeah. It just,
Can't knock the hustle, and now I'm blanking on the song he did with Biggie on that.
oh, do you have a computer?
Yeah, I do. I'll look it up. I just
Okay.
but anyway,
So do
yeah,
I. Decided not to use it. Anyway, yeah. But yes, I would say that this is not, if you're a Blink 182 fan, this is not necessarily the song that you're like, oh my gosh, I love this song. Although I do think this is the
agreed.
song
Yeah,
that made them uber popular versus popular,
agreed.
because this
Uh,
video was on TRL, I think every day. It was obnoxious. It
it
came up
felt
a
like
lot.
it. I mean, I have a distinct memory of it as well. Yes, of course.
Yes. Maybe we should just talk quickly about the music video. I don't know how much you actually have on the song because the lyrics aren't that long. So that's one thing. But the music video, for those that aren't familiar, is basically a parody of other boy bands, pop music. And to me, it made them bigger, because now if I comparing myself or making jokes about very popular people, and then they're like, oh, they made fun of me, it's gonna be bigger because the
Yeah.
top people are talking about it.
I think the thing that didn't sit well with me with this, first of all, the song was Brooklyn's Finest. I'm embarrassed that I didn't remember that right away.
Oh yeah.
That might be either that or Can't Knock the Hustle. The Reasonable Doubt, I think, is his best record. But either way,
Yeah.
um, the thing that bothered me about it is like they're making fun of these boy bands. Fair enough. The boy bands were lame as hell. I mean, and I like their music, but they were lame, right? Like I get that. It's easy to make fun of it. But these are good-looking guys. You know what I mean? Like it's not a huge, like when they're making fun of these things, it's like it's not a huge jump from what Tom, is it DeLonge? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't look it up, to be quite honest with you. So if there's a
It's not a
silent O or N or G or E, wouldn't
let's just
know.
put it this way. It's not a huge difference from what Tom or Mark looks like to
Yes.
like Aaron and or not Aaron, Nick Carter and Brian Luttrell.
Brian.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like if you took out the lip ring from the guy Tom,
Yeah.
he kind of looks like one of these dudes. So it's one of those things like I get what you're doing, but like don't pretend like you guys aren't treading off of your good looks as well, right?
Well,
Like
yeah, I think that was also part of it. But it was,
yeah,
I mean, it's like people who, post funny, hot Instagram photos and then put a funny line underneath, and they're like, well, you can enjoy one or the other, but really it's
yeah,
because of my comedy.
yeah, and they're trying to make it seem like, oh, I like, oh, just like ironically posting this thing. It's like, no, you're doing it because it's you in a bikini or it's you like staring off like, at some like tropical location.
Yeah.
Don't pretend like it's for some other reason. Like
And
just,
we all
it is
do
what
it,
it is.
but
Yeah.
that's
You
when
know me, I'm always doing that on
you
Instagram.
post every bikini photo.
Can't
I
stop.
know.
I'm the puff daddy of posting. Can't stop, won't stop. That's my
Someone
motto.
did recreate the music video into a Lego set, which is,
Of this one?
yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
Okay.
that.
I have one fun fact. I do have a fun
Okay.
fact.
Yes.
Do you want to know how it is that what their name means or how they became what they're?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna look into that and I decided not to. So thank you.
Yeah, this is interesting, by the way. You saying that's for those a little behind the curtain here. That's Serena's theory on everything with this podcast. I was gonna look into that, and then
I left
I
that to
didn't.
Scott.
Yeah, I didn't. I
I
hope
have
you
a
would do
co-host.
it.
What's his job?
He has the internet in his home. Why can't he look it up? So apparently their original name was Blink, and then there was another Irish group also named Blink who like
I did read
challenged them
this.
on this. And then they were like, instead of having any legal battle or whatever, they're like, fine, we'll change it. And they just picked like a random number that came to them, and they just dashed it on the end. So it was
182.
Blink 182.
I did read that. But I'm glad that you told us anyway. The thing about this band too that's become very popular more recently is because they kept getting back together. And Travis Barker, the drummer, wasn't in the original group.
He wasn't? I didn't know that.
No, I know, because you're not the biggest fan of them, nor am I. But yeah, he was replaced because the drummer, he left, and Travis Barker then got into the plane crash in 2008, survived the
Oh, that's
plane
right.
crash.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so they had basically got back together because they went to visit him in the hospital, and they were like, well, let's get the band back together, yeah, since you survived,
Sure,
so
I get that. I mean, I
yeah.
frankly, I recently learned that he was the dude. I get Travis Barker and Travis&Scott
Scott.
confused, even though I realize they're nothing alike. But just that, like,
Two
they were
guys
both
named Travis.
and they're both involved. Weren't they involved with the Kardashians?
The Kardashians, both of them are still very much
Yeah.
involved.
And so I just got them confused, frankly. I realize again they're not similar. But my point is that when I heard that Travis Barker, I was like, that can't possibly be the Blink-182 Travis Barker, because it just didn't. Again, I don't know much about the Kardashians, but it just didn't strike me as, like, from what I do know about them and the men I've heard that they've dated, this dude didn't seem like that he fit into a category that has been fairly consistent over the last 15 years or so of them being in our lives. And and then also when you see a picture of him now with who is he with, Chloe or Courtney?
He is with Courtney.
Okay.
Courtney.
So he's with her, and you see a picture of him now, and he just looks so different. Obviously the tattoos, but also just like he's been like celebritized. You know what I mean? Again, that to me is the interesting irony of them making fun of these boy bands, and they basically kind of became one anyway.
That yes. Yeah. It is also funny because if you look at how these guys look now as they're getting back into it and about to go on tour, Travis Barker looks the best of the three, and that dude almost died in a plane crash. But I'm like, what are y'all? I mean, one of them actually he had cancer. He got diagnosed with cancer in 2021.
Mark Hoppus, I think, right?
Yes. So all that to say, but yeah, Travis Barker, to that point, comes into this group and they become even more popular, and then making fun of popular people in the world, and now he is basically
part of one of those guys. He's one of those guys. Yeah,
it's fascinating, and he's become the most popular one of all of them.
So I have a lyric. Start off with this. Right off the bat, my first lyric, of course, is all the small things. Mm-hmm. The song is a love letter to his girlfriend, Tom DeLonge's girlfriend, then wife, and now ex-wife. Mm-hmm. But the first annotation on Genius.com about this song for all the small things, I don't know if you saw this, is a reference to Tom's penis. And I thought, I don't know this band at all. I don't know how they write their lyrics. I don't know. But I never thought, I've heard this song a ton of times, as we all have at a certain point. That's never occurred to me that was what that could be about. And if it is what it is about, then that raises the estimation up. Because obviously they're the kind of band that, to borrow a phrase from our friends across the pond, they like to take the piss. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me if they were making fun of themselves in that way. But I never thought of that, and I just thought that was really. If I have no opinion on it, if that is it, but I was like, that's funny if that's what this whole song is just him making fun of how small his dick is, or some shit like that. I don't know. I just thought that was a funny little possible theory.
Imagine if he wrote this song as like a cute romantic note for his former wife, girlfriend, and it's like, thank you for loving me despite the size.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing isn't really that. It's a nice song, but in terms of like lyrical content, but it's also, again, it's
we've
sort of
all
on
been
brand.
Singing about this guy's small penis.
If that was the case, I thought, and it also feels like that would almost be more of a love note, right? Like if I wrote you a song and we were in a relationship, and then I had an inside joke that only you and I got, that's even more. I feel like that's even more touching.
Yeah.
It's one thing to write you a song, but then to have the joke be so just for us that everyone else doesn't even get it. Literally, the whole world doesn't get it. Let's say, except for us two. Then it even strengthens the value of the song.
That's
more.
Fair. That's probably the one lyric that I think you appreciated, and it's talking about someone's penis size. I will say this is the first time that I realized that you really don't need to write any words to become a hit single. Like
na 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 na.
Boom Boom Boom, Wayo, had way more lyrics than this song did.
Yeah, it did.
This song actually, I was surprised. We were gonna break down the lyrics. I was like, man,
can't really do it. There's only about nine lines, I think, in the song that are not the chorus. Like the verses are like each of them very, very brief. Yeah.
And they're very much one word per line. It's like all the small things, true care, truth brings. Like, okay, you could go a little more. You could add a couple extra words.
No, they cannot. Nope.
No.
Like with that one line is just commiserating. That's the whole.
That's the line, right? Which to that part, I always know you'll be at my show watching, waiting. It sounds like he's being stalked. Like, like if
Yeah,
you took
watching.
out the, I'm
Yeah.
watching, I'm waiting, commiserating.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. But then I was like, oh, it's a love letter. But maybe he was trying to like, it was like a white flag, like help.
Well, to that, in terms of like the letter to her though, the
Mm-hmm.
lyric that I thought was interesting. There were two other lyrics I guess I had, and I suppose that might be there's all that's left, frankly.
Yeah, that's fine.
She left me roses by the stairs. Surprises let me know she cares. Right.
Yes.
So as I'm sure you saw, that
Yeah.
actually is based off of something that he says happened. Right.
Right.
And I only say he says happened because I didn't realize that that was an actual thing that people did, especially before Instagram. Because I thought that was like as an example, like when you see these like December to remember sales events, like no one actually buys the bow with the
Right.
car. You know what I mean? Like if you brought home your new car and it had a big, like an enormous bow on it, people would think you were nuts. This feels like one of those things that's like only done in movies. I didn't realize, excuse me, people did it in real life. That struck me as very strange.
I would prefer, right, some like cooked food or a massage or anything but a rose. Like, what if they have thorns in them? You
And
step
then
on
you
them.
got to clean them up too. It's
Yeah.
like it's a
You
mess.
gave me extra work after I just spent all this time writing a song about you.
Yes.
I'm exhausted.
That's how you repay me.
Cook me some food.
Yeah.
Left it in the microwave. Yeah. No, the only other lyric, because there's really no other lyrics, is when they say, "Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home." It sounds like he's drunk and whining, and he doesn't want to go home.
Yeah.
Because then he goes, "Na na 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 na."
The na na nas apparently were a tribute to the Ramones, who they very much liked.
Saw that too.
The night will go on, my little windmill. Did not know that was the lyric. Had no idea he was saying my little windmill. And that apparently that was like a thing he called her, my little windmill. I don't know what that means, but that was a kind of a cute little thing there, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a lot nice to say about it. I mean, I guess it's like, I don't know what the equivalent is in punk music, right? But in rap, you talk about someone's flow, right? Like, and there's just certain rappers whose flow you just don't vibe with for whatever reason. Like even if the quality of the lyrics are good, you're just like, I don't like the way this sounds. Like I've never really
They have whiny voices.
That's what I mean. I feel that way about in rap about T.I. I don't love T.I.'s voice. And I am, and I like some of his songs. He's not one of my favorites because of that. And with this, it's like when they whatever, I don't know what the word would be, but whatever their pitch is at or the decibel, something immediately hit me, and I was just like, ugh, I hate this. I hate it. And then as a result, frankly, I hated you for suggesting this.
I'll try and pitch more whiny songs as we continue.
The irony of this podcast is that you would think that it brought us closer together. It's actually bringing us further apart. I dread doing this every week because of the horrible suggestions that you make. I hate it. I really hate it.
We have a good balance though, because last week we talked about scenes from an Italian restaurant, like an all-time classic, and then we went to na 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 na.
By the way, I'm kidding around. I hated you before this, and I'll hate you after.
Right, you've hated me for years. There's no problem there. I'll leave you a rose with a thorn on it outside.
You would just be the thorns, no rose petals. I know you.
I took the petals off. Saved you the trouble.
Not even clever.
Do you have any final thoughts on this song?
I'm glad. I will say, all jokes aside, that it is nice that they're getting back together. As a big fan of the Fugees. I mean, I don't care personally that they're getting back together. It doesn't bother me, but I like that. I think that's always cool in the sense that I'm sure are a lot of fans. Not I'm sure. There are a ton of fans who are super psyched by this news, and I know that I don't know that feeling directly right in this moment. Yeah. But like if I felt like when the Fugees were like rumored to come back, I was really excited for that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that like don't care, obviously, but like I think it's just cool when a band you grew up with comes back. Yeah, that's cool. Good for them.
Because I think you had mentioned this before. When bands break up, it's like you're not married. Like you don't have to live with these people all day. Mm-hmm. And if you have a skill set that is working so well, why would you destroy that? Why would you take that apart? Like could you just work together?
I think the point I made was that like, or maybe we've just talked about it. when the Fugees breaking up as a child was harder for me to process. I was 8 or 9 or whatever, than like Biggie and Tupac dying.
Yeah.
Because I understood that death is the end. It's not like I had some serious grasp of death as a child, but like, people die, you're introduced to that at a relatively young age. Whereas like the idea of these, like you said, these people have this great thing together saying, we're good. Like, what?
Done.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like you won a World Series and you're like, I gotta hang up my cleats, I'm done. I mean, Dusty Baker's been playing and managing forever.
Yes.
You're 73 now, you're allowed to go.
Yes.
But outside of that, if you have a skill, like you should keep doing that skill.
Well, and also when you're still in the prime too. It's not like you said, it's not you're not really old, or even I guess what's stranger about it, and that's what makes this so cool is, okay, you know what? Maybe this person got a big head. This one became hard to work with. This one started cheating on so-and-so with this. Like, there's all sorts of complications. Fine, fair enough. But that's what makes this so dope, that they got back together, because you get older, and the Travis Barker thing sort of hits home, that they were like, you know what? And one almost died in an accident. One had cancer, or had, hopefully no longer has. But like, it puts into perspective. So I guess that's the even bigger bummer. But I'll turn this into a Fugees podcast right now. I don't give a damn. That we got to put them on our list, by the way. We should put one of their songs on us. I love them. Yeah.
The entire album. We'll just
when we get off that, the next 12 episodes are going to be the score in its entirety.
Perfect. Done. My final thought is just that I'm gonna have the na 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 in my head for the next 48 hours.
Sorry.
But yes, very exciting that they're back and they're now men. They're not teenagers making fun of each other. They're like, we can do this. We're grown adults and we haven't figured it out, but we will figure it out for fans. And that's great. Yeah,
they're gonna redo the What's My Age Again video, also naked again. Yep.
That would be.
Can you imagine that?
Do they have to do that? Maybe.
Oh, I hope not.
I mean, what's my age again? Well, you're 45. You might want to put some pants on.
We can tell by the stretch marks all over you that we know your age. like cutting a tree and seeing the rings,
Yeah.
We all get it. Yeah.
Oof.
Anyway.
Okay, great. Well, that's another episode of That's What They Said. Sarina Morales, Scott Spinelli. We will see you on another time.